Sony revealed which games will be added to the PS Plus Extra and Deluxe catalog on July 16th. Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and now you'll find out which games will be added to the catalog and which will be removed. The first new game in the catalog will be Remnant II. Cooperative story games don't come out that often, and the good ones are even rarer. Remnant II is a sequel to the hardcore third-person shooter Remnant from the Ashes, where players in a team of up to 3 people will travel to spooky worlds and fight with new, ruthless creatures and godlike bosses on procedurally generated locations. The developers developed the ideas of the original and tried to improve gameplay, diversified locations and enemies, as well as prepared impressive bosses to fight. One of the main novelties of the second part is an updated class system, with the help of which you can form your own style of play, combining passive and active skills. No More Heroes 3 and Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes Complete Edition will also be added to the catalog. The third installment of the No More Heroes series from Japanese game designer Goichi Suda is not for everyone, as all of his games are. Strange graphics bordering on retro, strange and sometimes vulgar humor, the need to earn game currency to access story missions, very limited budget and human resources. All this makes the game quite niche, but nevertheless interesting and driving. Well, along with it, you can check out Travis Strikes Again, which is a spin-off of the series, where the protagonist is sucked into the game console and he has to go through 6 worlds in it, stylized as retro games. The next game that will join the extra subscription is called Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, Enhanced Edition. The events of this party role-playing game are set in the dead state of Sarkoris, which has fallen victim to a portal to the abyss from where demons have flooded into the mortal world, destroying everything in their path. The game gives a huge choice when creating a character. There are available, for a minute, 25 main classes. Plus, in the process, you can pump several classes at the same time and combine their abilities. And there are also subclasses and elite classes, which affect not only the appearance of the hero, but even on the development of the plot. And there is also a global map where you need to move your troops and fight demons in turn-based battles. I think Pathfinder sequel turned out to be very interesting for RPG fans, and those who didn't play at all will be able to try this genre. The 5th new game of the subscription was Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This is a prequel to the remake of Final Fantasy VII, which tells the story of Zack Fair, Cloud's friend from 7 and a member of the paramilitary, who is tasked with finding a missing Genesis Rhapsody soldier. In the course of his investigation, Zack uncovers the secrets of Rhapsody's past, the truth about the mysterious Project G, and how 2 high-ranking members of the organization, Sephiroth and Angeal Hewley, are connected to the case. In addition, the story of the Shinra megacorporation's war with the Wutai people is told. Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord, will be added to the PS Plus Extra catalog in July. This is an open-world action RPG where the player creates his hero and sets out to explore the Calradian Empire, which is an analog of the Roman Empire during the formation of early European kingdoms. Here, you can engage in robbery, fight in the arena, create a clan, and travel the world, complete quests, participate in large-scale battles, and even become the ruler of your own kingdom. The next game that will be added to Extra's subscription is called the Jackbox Party Pack 9. It's actually a collection of small party games for up to 10 people. Some involve drawing and guessing, some involve making up funny stories, and some involve bluffing and answering questions. I think for gamers who have a lot of friends and meet with them, such a fitting will be relevant. But for everyone, for singles, alas. Deadcraft will also be added to the catalog. This is a post-apocalyptic zombie survival game with an overhead camera, where the protagonist is a half-human, half-zombie named Reed. Thanks to his inhuman strength and mastery of firearms, he can blaze a trail wherever he wants. But perhaps the most interesting feature is the ability to recruit other zombies to your group, so you can build your own army. Crafting and resource gathering are also present in the game. Otherwise, what kind of survival game would it be? Steep will be added to the PS Plus Extra catalog in July. In this sports simulator from Ubisoft, the player is invited to ski and snowboard snowboard, as well as fly a wingsuit and paraglider across the vast open world of the Alps and Alaska. This game allows you to chill out and play in the snow when there isn't any outside, which, by the way, is very relevant in July. Deluxe and Premium subscription holders and PSVR 2 helmets will also get access to Job Simulator. It's a fun simulator that lets you take on the role of an office worker, a shop assistant, a chef in a coffee shop, and a car repair shop worker. All gameplay is peppered with a decent dose of humor, so if you know at least a little bit of English, you'll have fun for a few hours. But without at least a basic knowledge, unfortunately, you can get stuck, because it's not always clear what the game wants from the player. Also available for Deluxe and Premium subscribers will be the action game Summoner, the adventure game Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, and the tactical RPG Jeanne Dark. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new edition, but I think it's much better than the previous ones, at least because of the fact that they added more recent projects than usual. Remnant 2 came out only a year ago, and it's well suited for a subscription-based playthrough, as it can be deterred by its difficulty. A few games came out in the 22nd year, something also not bad. Well, the variety of genres, as always, is off the charts. And now I will tell you about the games that will leave the subscription on the 16th of July. The first game leaving the subscription in July is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. The latest installment of the looter-shooter Borderlands once again tells us the story of Tiny Tina, who acts as the dungeon master of the board game Bunkers and Dauntless, where the events take place in a fantasy setting. The player creates his hero, selects his appearance, class, and goes on adventures in a bright, colorful world, stylized as a board game. The new project turned out to be generally good, and the innovations are interesting, but many gamers complain about the transience of the passage, so to pass it on, a subscription is the best option. Also, Saints Row 4 Re-Elected is leaving the subscription. This is a third-person action game where the player controls the leader of the Saints of Third Street gang, who has become the president of the United States. However, aliens attack the city and abduct him and his friends. The game is filled with madness and assorted humor. It's almost like GTA, only much less serious. The most interesting part of Saints Row, in my opinion, is the third one, but the fourth one is okay too, at least more interesting than the 22-year-old reboot. The only problem, the game has been poorly preserved and can easily be deterred by its old age. Kingdom 2 Crowns will be leaving the subscription on 16th July. The game is at first glance a simple city-building simulator in which the player as a king or queen must travel through open lands, collect gold and resources, and spend them to build his kingdom, as well as buildings that give new opportunities. The main difficulty lies in finding a balance between development and defense of the settlement, because if you forget about defense, monsters will come at night and destroy everything. And if you forget about development, strong monsters will come a couple of weeks later and destroy everything too. Playing, by the way, you can play with 2 people on one console or online, and in co-op, it will be not only easier, but also more fun. Fast and Furious Spy Racers Rise of Shifter will be leaving the PS Plus Extra catalog in July. In this arcade racing game, as the young nephew of Dominic Toretto from Fast and Furious, the player must stop gangsters from the Shifter organization. Sounds good, but in fact it's a very childish game with very simplistic controls. There is simply no challenge here. The 5th game to leave the subscription was Dismantle. The game is an isometric survival game set in a post-apocalyptic world where zombies walk on the surface. The protagonist leaves his bunker with a crowbar in his hands and starts the way of survivalist, gradually pumping and developing. In the game, you need to search and extract resources, craft items and weapons, build buildings and fortifications, bridges and turrets to destroy waves of enemies. You can also grow vegetables and cook food, or go fishing. In general, the game looks interesting, as evidenced by the high rating in store. It's a pity only that there is no online cooperative, there is only local. Also, to the great regret, subscription leaves My Little Pony, a Maritime Bay adventure. Every boy and girl just have to plunge headfirst into this beautiful, colorful journey together with the brightest of notions, and at the same time, and get a platinum, which requires absolutely no left movements, just for an hour past the game, and the platinum is yours. If you like any of these games, then install it on your console and play. Access to them will close on 16 July. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell to keep up to date with the games that are leaving and adding to your extra and essential subscriptions, and give us a like to make the next giveaway even better.